welcome to the first of a brand new podcast, the Nothing Specific podcast. Couldn't think of a better way to start things off than with my guest today, TikTok star AJ Slambino. Thank you so much for joining me, being my first guest. How are you today?
This is exciting. I'm your first guest, so it's pretty exciting. I
It's a
like
big
it.
moment. Big,
Big
big,
moment.
big moment. So as we say, you're quite big on TikTok at the moment. So we will get into that. But I wanted to start off first talking about your wrestling career.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
I'm a big wrestling fan myself. So you were a 20-year pro, I believe. Um, how did you start off in wrestling?
Yeah, well, it was 20 years. I retired in 2021, so in October of 2021. But yeah, I started in the late 90s. I was 98, 99, 1998, 1999. I was always been a wrestling fan my whole life, and I've been watching wrestling since I was a little kid. And I was in school, like my last year of school, and a friend of mine said, "Hey, you love wrestling. You ever thought about going to a wrestling school?" And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't even know what that is. And he said, I found one, and I was living in Florida, and he said, it's in Miami. It's about an hour from your house. And I said, well, let's go. We got in the car one Sunday. We drove down there, and there was about 15 of us who went. We took a couple cars, and everybody wanted to try to be a wrestler. By week two, everyone quit but me, and my brother. My brother stuck it out for like a couple months, but everybody else quit. And I fell in love with it day one, and I was like, "Yeah, I want to do this. This is the coolest thing ever."
So when you say you're a big fan growing up, was your era like the Attitude Era, or was it a bit before that?
No, so yeah, I'm 42 years old, so my era was like the 80s. Growing up in the 80s, and obviously the Attitude Era, I was a teenager, so which was way cool because I could walk around telling everybody to suck it, and it was like cool because I was a teenager, nobody's gonna tell me anything. But yeah, I grew up like Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior. Um, I mean, my favorite wrestlers as a kid were always like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat, Bret Hart, the British Bulldogs. I thought were like the best tag team in history as a kid because they looked like they were so big and like strong, and I always thought they were like the coolest tag team.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously you got that British connection, which has followed you later in life
Yeah.
here. Um, so I mean, you've kind of already answered the other question there. Did you ever, as a kid watching it, did you ever think that that was something you'd go into?
No, as a kid, no, never. I mean, I like you play around wrestling and stuff like that, but I never thought. And then in high school, when somebody had asked me to go, I was like, I gotta try this. Like, I have to go. Like, it's not like I have to try it. So I went, and when I tell you I fell in love, like day one, I was like, this is so cool. Like, this is what I like watched. I always thought wrestlers were superheroes. Like, I never was into comics. I never was into movies as a kid. Like, other people would collect comic books and be like, oh, like, Marvel or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Like, Hulk Hogan's a superhero, not
Yeah,
not like Incredible Hulk. And like my friends, the kids didn't understand that. They were like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm telling, like, you guys got to watch wrestling," and nobody ever like really wanted to watch it. A couple people in the neighborhood would, but um, and then I started doing like pay-per-view parties where everybody would come over to watch the pay-per-view, and kids started coming over, and they're like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." We were a little older at that point, like teenagers, but yeah, I always thought they were superheroes. Like, that's just how I saw wrestlers.
yeah, definitely. So I come across a picture of yourself and your tag team partner from the Slambinos,
Yeah,
Francisco Clatto, and your manager, Glenn Gilbertti, who
yeah,
for people who are unaware was Disco Inferno back in WCW. Um,
right.
what was it like to work with Glenn?
So Glenn was super cool. Like, talk about somebody. I mean, like, I know people give him crap online all the time, but working with us, he never like tried to be a superstar. He never tried to be like, oh, I'm Glenn Gilbertti, I was Disco Inferno. He was always just like, whatever you guys want to do, let's do. It was always so simple, and we had a really good dynamic. Like, we worked with him for, it was one season, so it was 12 episodes we worked with him, and the dynamic. I never saw something where we could all go to do a promo backstage and not have to talk about it. And they would just go, action. And the camera would start recording, and the three of us would just come up with something that was so funny without ever having to rehearse it, because we just meshed so well together. It was crazy. He was really good to work with.
Yeah, I mean, he's been around the business for so long. I mean, to have his knowledge and input on you must have been great. I
Yeah.
mean, but to have a trio that works so well together must have been, you know,
Yeah.
like the best part. Was Would you say that was one of the highlights of your career?
That was probably the biggest highlight, because we were on TV, on national television in America. It was on 80 million homes on a
Wow.
Saturday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. So for 12 weeks, my entire family, my friends, my coworkers were waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday and sending me screenshots going, oh my God, I'm watching you on my TV in my house, like across the country. It was wild. I mean, even like I have a real job, obviously, and TikTok's not my job, but my like big boss of the company sent me a screenshot one morning at 8:30 in the morning of him in his like movie theater room watching me on TV going, this is absolutely wild. I'm watching you on television. Uh, so it was totally surreal. And the coolest part is my dad, who, got me into wrestling. My dad was a wrestling fan from when he was a kid. He got me into wrestling, and my dad texting me at 8 o'clock in the morning going, I'm watching you on television. Like, this is wild. And that like meant the world to me. I was like, man, my dad can watch me on TV. This is crazy. So that was like absolutely cool.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell by the look on your face how much that meant to you to
Yeah.
have them moments. So that's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. It was cool.
Do you still watch wrestling now?
Yeah, I do. I watch wrestling. I'm a huge wrestling fan.
Yeah.
So
What
I
what you
watch yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, what's your thoughts on the likes of WWE and AEW, things like that?
So I'm a huge AEW fan. Like, absolutely huge. I love WWE still, because I love all wrestling. Like, I don't understand people who are like at wrestling wars. If you go on Twitter, everybody's like, you get to be a fan of one or the other. It's like, why? Why can't you just be a fan of wrestling? Like, I don't
Yeah,
get that. So I will tell you, like, I don't watch WWE as much anymore. I'll watch highlights like the next day. I just I struggle with some of the storylines and some of the actual wrestling in WWE right now. Uh, there's really good bright spots, but there's really bad spots. But AEW has made WWE get better. They have to
yeah,
now.
definitely.
It's just like WCW, Um, but I AEW, I usually don't miss on Wednesdays. I usually watch it every Wednesday.
Yeah,
So, but I also watch New Japan. I watch Impact. I watch Indies. Like, I got a lot of friends still wrestling on the independent circuit, so I watch a lot of independent wrestling. But yeah, throughout the day, I probably look at wrestling more than anything on my phone. So
yeah. I'm probably the same. I mean, and I agree
yeah.
completely with you. I don't get the tribalism that exists between certainly
Mm-mm.
WWE and AEW. It doesn't seem to be anywhere else, but it's just enjoy it all. It's just
Right,
the more wrestling for us, the better.
right, right. Agreed.
Um,
That's what I say. And you have to think of it like this. I think of it from like someone who is in the business. The more wrestling, the better for the fans. But the more wrestling, the better for the wrestlers, because now there's another 100 guys getting paid and girls getting paid to wrestle, right, on national television on a big screen. Like, there's more people making money in wrestling now than probably ever before. So why
yeah,
would we be mad at that? That other people are like succeed like that? Let's be happy for everybody. They're all making money.
Couldn't agree more.
Right.
So moving on to TikTok then. So I
Yeah.
believe you started out on there doing like dancing videos with your kids. How did you
Yeah.
move on to the sort of British food videos?
So yeah, I started dancing like I thought it was a dancing app. Well, it was November 2019. A coworker of mine who's a great friend, he had a TikTok page, and this was in 2019. He had like 100,000 followers, and I was like, holy crap. He introduced me to the app, and I was like, this is for my kids. He's like, nah, man, you're wrong. It's not for your kids. This is the future of like social media, of like, getting yourself out there and like business. So I got on, I used to make dancing videos, and I just making dumb dancing videos, I somehow got to 30,000 followers. I don't even know how. Um, I did have a viral video during COVID, which kind of sparked it. A friend of mine sent me a video of a car, and the front of the car was like kind of broken, and the car was like the car was flapping, like the bumper, and he filmed it in Miami on the road, and he said, "Man, you could probably use this for a TikTok." I had that video for like 2 weeks, and I was like, "What the hell am I going to do with this?" And it was during COVID happened, so I was home because everything was shut down, and I was sitting on the toilet, and I saw a Busta Rhymes song that he was like singing fast, so I put that song to the car flapping. I posted it, and like 20 minutes later, my brother, he was here, and he was visiting, and he was like, "Hey, did you just post that video?" And I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Man, you're at 600,000 views, and it's only been like 20 minutes." I was like, "Whoa." It just went, it was like, a couple million. It was being posted on all other social medias. People were like stealing it, not giving me credit for it. And then that was kind of my first viral video. But then it was about 2 years ago. A friend of mine that I met on TikTok, she lives in the UK, and we were talking about food or something, and she's like, um, just talking about just like British food. And I was at my local supermarket, Publix, which is a supermarket here in the south of the United States. And I said, well, it's weird because Publix just put up a British section. The sign says British food, and it's a whole section. So I filmed it, and I tagged her, and I hit post, and it went viral like instantly. And there was thousands of comments of people going, buy that, buy this, buy this, buy that, try this. So I went the next day. I bought everything on the shelf, like from top to bottom, and it was like $150 and stuff. And the first thing I tried was a Milky Bar, and that was my first chocolate I tried, and I was like, "Holy crap, this is good!" Um, and the video went viral, and then the next day, I think it was, I did beans on toast, and that went mega viral, like insane. And uh, that's when I started gaining, like, I mean, it was the followers just started going up, 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 and a couple weeks later, I got started getting messages from people going, "Hey, you're on the news here. You're in like the newspaper. There's articles written about you. You're on like TV shows." But nobody ever reached out to me. Like nobody from there ever called me and said, "Hey, we're gonna do an article on you." They just started putting them out without even calling me, which I thought was crazy. And then yeah, it like took off from there because I was in newspapers, and I was on TV, and I was like all this stuff. So um people would be like, "I'm listening to the radio," and they're literally talking about you. But not one of these companies ever reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you want to come on? Do you want," like, never. So, but that's how it all started. And then, um, yeah, the chocolate is so much better than American chocolate. Like, it's not even funny.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was over in America for the first time last year. I don't think
Mm,
I tried too much of the chocolate, to be honest, and I think that was largely based on your videos saying how much better the British chocolate was.
yeah.
Uh, has dairy milk, has that been your favorite British thing that you've tried?
Um, so my favorite's a Cadbury Boost bar by far. That's my top. That's my number one. Uh, this is gonna sound crazy, but Arrow Mint is probably in my top three, just because it's so light. It's like, it's not heavy. Like you
Yeah.
can eat an Arrow Mint and just be like, it's a good little snack, and it's not super filling, and you don't feel sick after. Um, and sometimes I'll just get an Arrow Mint to eat like half of it, just because it's just a good little snack. But Boost is my number one. Starbar's probably up there too.
Yeah, definitely. Has there been anything that you looked at it, thought you were gonna really dislike it, but ended up really enjoying it?
Yeah, like black pudding. I was like,
Yeah,
there's no way I'm gonna like it, and I love it. Like at first, you know who's gonna like that, right? Like it's like blood, right? So it's like
yeah.
I'm like, no, there's no way I'm gonna like it. And then I was like, oh, this is really good. But even beans on toast, like if you look at beans on toast, it doesn't look appealing or appetizing. And it's funny because like my American friends will be like, there's no way it's really good. And then I'm like, okay, try it. And they're like, holy crap, who would think this was good? And I'm like, yeah, you would never think that that was good ever. And
No,
it's amazing. Right.
yeah, it is. And
Right.
you're not alone with black pudding. I think even British people like. I think the first time I ever tried it, my thoughts were probably exactly the same. Like, how can this be nice? And then it's
Right.
just amazing. So you're definitely not alone there.
Mm.
So at the moment, you're sitting at about, I think it's like 330,000 followers. Um,
Yeah.
if somebody had said when you first started off on TikTok that you'd be sitting here with that many followers, largely through eating British food, would you have even like entertained that idea?
No, never. I never thought I would hit 30,000 followers, let alone 330,000. Um, and then I got verified in March, which was crazy to me because once I like started to understand TikTok, like I didn't get it at first. I had no clue. I was just hitting record and you know, once I started to understand and I started getting to the like analytics of it and I started paying attention to it. Because I'm really like I'm super competitive and I'm competitive with myself. And I was a wrestler for 20 years. I was an entertainer. So this is like my new form of wrestling, my new form of entertainment. Um, because I love doing that. So once like I started like paying really attention to everything and I never thought I would be verified because verified was like, oh, that person's like special or, like, and it's not, it doesn't really mean anything. But I was actually on another podcast, and the person said to me, "Have you ever tried to get verified?" And I said, "I don't even know how to do that." And they did something where they sent my name in or something, and a link got sent to me, and the link was from TikTok, and the person was like, "Just fill it out." So I filled it out. They asked for all this information. And when I started to think about it, I was like, well, man, I've been on TV. I've been in newspapers for wrestling. I've been in magazines like Pro Wrestling Illustrated, which is like the biggest wrestling magazine in the world. I got like a whole bunch of articles written and pictures. So I started putting everything together and, uh, like I've been on TV before for Ring Warriors and I've been like, I've done, I was on TNA Impact in 2003 a couple times. And then there was like a couple days later they were like you're verified. I was like, whoa, like that's crazy. It really means nothing though, I will tell you. It doesn't mean anything to be verified. So you don't get like a special like package from them. They really don't care. So
No, it's still a big moment though. Like not every
yeah.
if everyone was verified on TikTok, then it really would mean nothing.
Right.
But
Right.
there's not everyone is. So it's still a big moment. It's still a sign of the success that you've had on there. So I think
Yeah.
still congratulations on that, nonetheless.
Thank you.
Um, you mentioned obviously that you do have a regular job as well. With how well TikTok is going, do you plan on at any point having that become your job?
So it's crazy. Like I've been with my real job. I am a district manager for a retail company. I've been with them for almost 10 years. So uh it's hard to step away because 10 years with the same company, like I've never worked anywhere for 10 years for that long. And they've taken such good care of me through like in the 10 years, I mean, I was a single dad and I have my kids full time. So like they, this company let me be a single dad and still work and still have, be able to be there for my kids. Uh, they they supported me through my wrestling. Hey, what I need to take off to go to Vegas to go film tapings for a week, and they're like, yeah, just go. So it's like, they were so supportive of that, and now they're so supportive of TikTok. Everybody in the company knows about my TikTok. So, and anytime I'm at a meeting or like, I'm at like an executive meeting, and somebody's always bringing it up. Oh, did you see the TikToks? I was like, oh, here we go. Um, they'll pull it up on the big screen or something, and I'm like, this is crazy. So like they've been so supportive. So it's like it's hard to leave that atmosphere. I got a lot of friends there, but it's weird because lately I'm like, I think I could like step away at some point, TikTok isn't going to pay the bills because they don't pay. Like they don't just don't pay. Like, it's not like
Yeah.
that. But there's other things that I want to do in life, and I think TikTok is an avenue for that. And at some point, I may make the jump and do things I want to do. It'd be hard, but like I want to public speak. I want to speak to kids, to youth about their dreams, their goals. Um, I want to be able to speak to single parents. I mean, I did it for now. My kids are older, so like my son's 18. He's about to go on to be like in his own life, and my daughter's 16. But they've lived with me for 14 years. I've raised them as a single parent, so like I know the ups and downs, and I can help people with that. So I want to be able to use TikTok to maybe help get on to help those other things I want to do, like speak to people. I have always had a dream of opening a restaurant, and that dream may become a reality soon because we're working on something, and it would be super cool if we can do that. Like so there's definitely a chance, but you know, TikTok's just the avenue to get me there. They don't pay the bills. I can tell
Yeah.
you that. Social media
No, I
does
mean,
not pay.
no, it's. I mean, it's obviously fantastic that you've got such a supportive work environment. I don't think you could have done what you have done without that. So massive, massive props to your workplace there. And it sounds amazing that you've got big plans with the restaurant, and hopefully that does come to fruition. Um, with everything you've tried from the UK, have you got any plans to make a trip over here?
Yeah, so we're going August 25th through the 31st because I am going to AEW All In on August
Right.
27th at Wembley. I bought my tickets. Uh, I'll be in section, I think it's 141. I can't remember if it's 141 or 147, but so the plan is to fly in on the 25th, get there kind of late, but that Saturday, I got tickets to FanFest AEW. So if anybody's going to AEW FanFest, I'll be there. Then I'm gonna just be in London all week, just because I've never been there. So my plan is to go and try all the food and eat all the food and see AEW. I think we're gonna do a little meetup on the 27th before the show. We'll figure out something. I'll let everybody know. We'll do a little meetup somewhere. I think it'd be cool if like anybody who's going to the show and we all meet up, and then all of a sudden there's like 100 people, and we make a huge TikTok that we're all together at Wembley for AEW. Because I don't know how many Americans are coming there for it. It may not be many. So, but I made a video about it, and Chris Jericho, he duetted my video on TikTok. So I was like totally like geeking out for that because I was like, Jericho's the goat. Like he definitely yeah, he duetted my video about coming there, so it was pretty cool.
How big do you think that is going to be for AEW? Like the UK, obviously we had Clash at the Castle WWE last year, but really we
Right.
haven't had anything like this since SummerSlam '92. Do you think this is going to be a turning point for AEW and also British wrestling?
Yeah, so I think they're gonna try to make this a yearly thing. And I think that would be super cool. Clash of the Castle was a great show. I mean, that was an absolutely awesome wrestling show. Um, and then you got Money in the Bank in July. So
Yeah.
Money in the Bank and then AEW, like you guys got to be excited for that. Like that's you know that's pretty wild. Uh, to have back-to-back shows, and I'm sure Money in the Bank's going to be great. Because WWE knows how to put on pay-per-views. Their TV shows are boring, but their pay-per-views are great.
Yeah,
But I think AEW, this is kind of groundbreaking and pretty big deal because no one thought they were going to sell as many tickets as they've sold. They've sold 70,000 tickets already, and even if they only sell 70,000, that's insane.
yeah,
And I know the haters
absolutely.
will be like, "Well, if it's 90,000, it's like, shut up!" Like they already passed SummerSlam '92 with ticket sales, and it's going to be insane. Like that place is going to be crazy that day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think WWE have been big in looking at sort of giving other countries big shows. You've had obviously Elimination Chamber was in Toronto. You had Backlash in Puerto Rico, which was one of the craziest crowds I've ever seen. And then
Yeah,
obviously the UK fans, it's well known how crazy the fans are, whether it's WWE or AEW or even like when Impact had been over here. So I think it's about time these bigger companies they give overseas fans more because we don't get these opportunities a lot. So the fact that, like you say,
right.
we get Money in the Bank and then AEW
Yeah.
straight away, it's like it's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And Impact has a huge market over there. Like I don't think people realize that Impact Wrestling has an insane market overseas. I mean, I know they're going to tour too. I think I saw they're coming. Um, I don't know where they're going overseas somewhere. I saw they announced it, but um, WWE market is. I think from what I read, Impact AEW have a bigger market in the UK right now than WWE. WWE does well in China. They do well in India. Like they have huge markets over there. I just, from what I think is AEW has a bit bigger market. Impact has a huge market there, which is crazy because who watches Impact? I mean, it's like impossible to watch because I don't even know what channel it's on anymore. But
I don't. I watch it on YouTube.
I watch. I watch. That's what I watch it on YouTube because there's no other. And it's funny because people are like, they don't watch Impact. I'm like, you're missing out. They probably got the best women's division wrestling in the country. Like right now,
Yeah,
Impact women's division is better than WWE and AEW. Like they got some solid women's wrestling. Um, like they've got some stars over there. So, uh, yeah, I mean, I this is it's groundbreaking. Like I hope AEW takes this to a yearly thing because that's what would definitely set them apart from WWE.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think what helps AEW over in the UK is so WWE is on like a subscription channel, whereas AEW is just on like
Oh,
national TV. So
there
even
you
the
go. Yeah.
on-demand stuff, you don't have to pay for it or anything like that. So I think that's a massive,
Makes a big
you know,
difference. Yeah.
but it's smart. It helps, you know, it's a channel that's on every single person's TV over in the UK. So there's no
Right.
reason not to watch it. But it's brilliant. But no, it's huge for the UK.
Yeah.
So obviously coming over in August. Will that be your first time in the UK?
Yeah. My first time.
Yeah. Anything in particular you're looking forward to trying or doing? Obviously outside of AEW.
Yeah. So like I started writing some stuff down yesterday. I made a video yesterday, like, hey, where should I go? Like tag your restaurants. And there's so many comments that I was trying to go through them this morning. I'm like, cool, there's way too many comments. And I was like trying to like them, but TikTok, they're like, oh, you're liking too fast. Slow down. I'm like, oh god. So uh but yeah, like I want to go to a Greg's. I have to try a Greg's.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I have to go to. I want to go to Camden Market because there's a Yorkshire burrito place
Yeah.
that I seen on TikTok. So I yesterday they commented on my post and I told them I'm coming. Like I am coming to get one of those Yorkshire burritos because those things look insane. Um, and then I want to go to. This is gonna sound weird, but I want to go to like supermarkets. I want to go to like a Marks and Spencer's if I can, or like I just want to see what they look like. I think that'd be good content. And then, yeah, I don't know. Like I asked people yesterday in the comments. I mean, there's so many places that I could go and try. So, um, and then I think probably like I was thought about going to Cadbury World on the Monday, but then I know it's Carnival there as well when I'm there. So I'm like, no, I'd rather like experience that than go to Cadbury World. I'll go to Cadbury World next time. But and then do you know who Goonie Dad is? He's a
No.
UK TikToker. No, he's got a lot of followers too. He's a UK TikToker who TikToks a lot about America. He's basically like the UK version of me, like opposite. So uh we met each other in October. He had told me he was coming to New York City, so I got on a plane like last minute and flew to New York and met him and spent the weekend um, with him and his family. It was me and my girlfriend, and we went and we had a great time with them. And he's like a true friend now. Like we talk a lot, and he came to America last week. He was in Seattle, so I had bought him and his wife baseball tickets to go watch baseball because his wife loves baseball and never been to a baseball game because it's not big in the UK. So they went to a baseball game. So then I'm gonna go when I come there. They invited me to their house for a roast dinner, which I think is probably the most exciting thing because it's gonna be a home cooked roast dinner. So I'm pretty pumped about that.
Yeah, no, nothing beats a home cooked roast dinner. You're in for a treat,
Right?
definitely. Um,
Yeah.
the one thing I would say to try, me being from Liverpool, I'd have to say you've got to try scouse. Now, I don't know if you've heard of that. It's
I've
like
heard of it. Yeah.
yeah, it's like a Irish stew almost, but there's just something special about it.
Yeah.
So if you ever come back to the UK and head to Liverpool, you need to get some scouse.
Yeah, so my plan is to stay in London this time, just because there's so much going on there, and I figure I've never seen London, so like I'm gonna be a tourist. I'm gonna go see everything, but my plan is to come back later this year and to um, tour the rest of the country and not go to London. So if kind of like in some preliminary talks, and I don't even know how I would pull this off, but my thought would be is that in October, if I can come to go to different towns and do like kind of set up like a meet up like but do like where like hey um we'll be in Liverpool Tuesday night at find a pub or something that'll house us and be like we'll be at this pub Tuesday night and kind of do like a road show um and have guests come on like maybe even TikTokers or people from the area like have you come because you have a podcast and then like kind of do like a variety show for the night and kind of maybe have everybody up there and do questions and answers and stuff and like kind of do like a show and take that show around the whole country for like a couple weeks. Um, I think that would be cool and it's a way to meet everybody and not have to like you know go 12 different directions. So um, yeah, like I have all these big dreams and ideas. I don't know if they'll ever come true, but
Fingers crossed they do. It sounds like you've got, a
yeah,
lot to work towards. So I look forward to seeing everything progress and, hopefully one day you do get to come to Liverpool and it'd just be great. But that was all the questions I have for you. So again, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join me and be my first guest.
yeah, no, I'm your first guest. It's pretty exciting. So hopefully, like your podcast goes like crazy and it blows up, and you're like this huge podcaster, and then I could be like, I was the first guest. Like that's it. I started it.
That's
Yeah,
it.
no,
That's the
just
dream.
yeah, just if anybody's listening, follow me on all my social medias. Like it's literally AJ Slambino on every social media. Like I'm the same name on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, uh, TikTok, um, Twitter. So um, I try to post different things on everything. TikTok's obviously all food related, but you know, YouTube, I'm gonna try to change it up here in a little bit and start doing some other stuff, maybe like some more funny stuff with the family. Um, Instagram, if you want to see like American food, go to my Instagram page because I've posted so much American food. A lot of people ask me, like, hey, what's the food like in America? So go to my Instagram page because I'll post a lot of American stuff. Um, and then Twitter, you'll just see me. It's all wrestling usually. So,
No, it's yeah, I'll make sure to tag it on everything. But again, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat with you today.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. Anytime you want to, I'll be guest number 2 if you want to. I mean, it's whatever you want. I'll come and I'll talk wrestling all day and food.
Yeah, definitely. No, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.